So shalom to everybody. My name is Pam Paz, originally from Johannesburg, South Africa. I grew up in a Orthodox, my father was Orthodox, my mother wasn't, but we really grew up with a love, a very Zionistic family, with a love of Eretz Israel, and the dream of one day fulfilling the dream of 1,000 years, 2,000 years, and coming on Aliyah. And when I met my husband, Alan, Pats, we now are Paz, but he was Pats from Middelburg, and he belonged to B'nai Kiva. And of course, this dream of making Aliyah was really part, the ideology and the love of Eretz Israel was part of B'nai Kiva. So it was just seemed the right and obvious thing to do. And after our first son, Raphael Jonathan, was born, he actually had his Brit on the day of Entebbe. And when he got a little older and we had to already plan about getting a bigger home or buying or renting, I said to my husband, I think the time has come for us to make the big move and to come and live in Eretz Israel. I have one thing to add, that I'd never ever visited Israel before I made Aliyah, but I always felt that this was the right place for Jews to be. I did nursing and midwifery, and I never understood when I met older Jews why they were living in the diaspora, and I just felt it was like part of my shlichut, part of a mission, to be able to fulfill this dream and come and live here. So my husband, Alan, and me, and my son, Rafi, he was 7 months at the time, we left South Africa in 1977 in February, and we came to live in the Gush Etzion. I am now standing under the oak tree called the Alon, centered here in the middle of Gush Etzion. It is 600 years old, and it symbolizes the settlement of the Jews here in Gush Etzion. In 1948, when the Gush fell, it was the members of Kfar Etzion, the kibbutz, would come and they would stand on a hill called Nes Harim and look down at the Gush and see the oak, this lone oak, the Alon, and they would say, Nashuva Rabaita, we will come back to Gush Etzion. And they never ever forgot that one day they would return to this beautiful land, and this oak tree symbolized their hope and dream to come back. And in 1967, when the area was liberated, this came true, and the residents that lived in the kibbutzim before returned with their children. And today we have 4 generations living here in Gush Etzion. Alon Shvut was one of the first settlements. It was started with the yeshiva Har Etzion, and the yeshiva boys got married, and then they built homes here, and then Alon Shvut expanded, and this was part of our B'nai Kiva plan, was to come and settle the Gush. So we started in a kibbutz Rosh Tzurim, and we did an Ulpan there, stayed there for a year, and then we came to join other South Africans who had made Aliyah and were living in Alon Shvut at the time. So this dream that these pioneers started in Kfar Etzion and to build up in the Judean hills became a ideological motivation and force for all of us. And so we came here, and of course then after Zefrat was built, Elazar was here before, and Neve Daniel, and all the Yeshuvim that comprise of Gush Etzion. And we have lived here for 35 years, and it is a real and true zchut, privilege to be a link in this chain. The Gush Etzion is situated south of Jerusalem. I always tell people that I live halfway between Jerusalem and Hebron. And Hebron is Chibur, is the connection with our forefathers who are buried there, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And of course with our Imaot, Sarah, Rivka, and Leah. And often I feel very connected that, we can go and visit Hebron and visit our mothers and fathers. And I don't know any other nation that has 4,000 years of history and can go and visit the descendants that are buried so close to us. And I feel it's a very big, enormous, huge privilege to be able to live here. I have in my back garden ruins dating back to the Second Temple period, when the Jews lived in this area and would walk to the Temple Mount for the 3 festivals, Sukkot, Pesach and Shavuot. And I really feel that we are linked in this chain of history, and it's an ongoing process. And my message to everyone is that this is our homeland. It was given to us by Hashem, and Avraham Avinu left his home, Lech Lecha, and he spread God's love and light, and he came to Eretz Israel, and we really feel the Shekhinah is with us. And yes, things can get difficult. It's not easy. Many young people have given their lives for Eretz Israel, and so we even feel, with all the hardships that have been entailed, with all the dreams of millions of Jews who never made it here, yes, we have a special mission to live here and and get involved and helping in the chesed and just bringing up our families, and it's an enormous chut. And I just invite everybody to come and join us and to live this beautiful life that we live in Eretz Israel.